We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What's going on with you, man?
Oh man, off to a busy week already, man. Lots of chaos going on here in the workplace. But other than that, though, man, everything is good.
Who you telling, bro? I just got off the road. Yeah, man.
What's got going on?
The boy Deuce, man. We went out for yet another college visit. We was out at Bethany College out in Kansas. And so, yeah, man.
Okay, hang on one second. Grab a phone. I should have had that. Not prepared. Like I thought not as prepared as I thought I was. Like I don't know why my phone is almost like my how people always say they can't find their keys. Like right at the start of the show, I have my phone somewhere else though, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we got a few things to get into. It's May the 4th, it's Star Wars Day. Let's get that music going there, Pimp Juice.
Hey.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of
Can
all
you dig
time.
it, sucker?
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
Hey man, this May the 4th be with you now, man. Are y'all Marauder boys over there doing anything special here for the? I thought y'all would have a special episode today.
Well, I can't be in two places at one time. So
okay.
No. We definitely will address it because I mean, you know, as Star Wars fans, we always find any way to celebrate. So we got May the 4th today. We got Revenge of the 5th tomorrow.
Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah, so Thursday will be lit on the Marauder. So we'll talk about all the things that have happened. We've got so many new Marvel trailers, and of course, we got some new stuff from Star Wars. And yes, Friday the Bad Batch should be starting. So I mean, we'll have plenty to talk about.
Wait a minute, the Bad Batch starts on Friday?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That Disney Plus has been trying to basically stack their new content to where you will have we just finished with Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So then they will do a break where they'll do the assembled episode where they do the behind the scenes of the stuff.
Yeah.
They start the new series after that. So after the Bad Batch should be Loki. So
that's right. So Bad Batch will be put out there weekly as well.
Yeah. It's gonna be just like
same cadence then.
Yeah, same cadence. It's gonna be just like the Clone Wars, because that's basically what it's It's like a spin-off the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I got a question for you.
What's good?
Since you officially are done with having kids, you getting that vasectomy?
No. let me tell you the reason. This is I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Me saying this right now, having just put ice packs off of my knees, I still feel like I'm too young though to get a vasectomy, bro. Like I feel like for me personally, and this is just me personally, bro. Like I still feel like I only got the one, you know what I'm saying, one son, which I'm proud of just having the one. You know, maybe if I had more, like for me, right? If I would have had a girl the first time around, I would have said, nope, we tried immediately. I would rather have 2 girls than to just have one. But you know, I got my dude Landon. I got it right the first go around. So I was like, whew, I'm good. So if it didn't happen again, I was cool with that. With that said, though, man, I think that even though it would be a complete, you know, reset button over here, because, you know what I'm saying, like my son's about to be 12. And so starting all the way back over from the diaper stage, and you would think, well, go ahead and getting the snip would resolve all that. I just think that for me, I'm young in the sense of being a parent, but young enough to where I still feel like I got some room that just in case, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't shooting up the club that particular day, that if it happened, you know, I would be still okay with it. So right now, while I think that we've ruled out kids, I don't want to biologically rule out the kids as well, though, man. So, but but I mean, I think that for me, for the most part, though, man, I can understand why some guys would. I still feel like it ain't my time just yet, though, man. So I think to give me maybe like another 5 years, you know what I'm saying? If it hasn't happened by then, if I haven't had another kid in 5 years and Landon is going on 17 years old, then I'll be thinking like, all right, you know what, man? I don't even know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's the right number to say I am all the way done with trying to reproduce kids all together. And I don't know. I can think of realistically though, bro, like I can see some scenarios where if I was in my late 40s, that I still might be able to think of a scenario that I'm like, all right, you know, even though my son might be 20 something, I can see a scenario where I might slide out an infant on these boys.
Well, I'm just saying, I think when you drop that Bel Air 3 and you go all the way platinum, you'll have that guap to be able to hire like a nanny and
That's
do
true.
all that stuff. So I mean, it's still a possibility. But bro, I lucked out. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that because of Sarah's health stuff, we can't have any more kids. So she shut the factory down. So I didn't have to get I can't even say it because that's how much like I'd be betraying my balls. So now I lucked out on that one. Charlie was definitely the last of, she was the last batch. So it's done.
And I feel like I would be disappointed in the squad, bro. Like if you know what I'm saying, if y'all physically can't, right?
Yeah.
Then I feel like then me doing that anytime soon would just be premature, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess I just think of so many people. I don't know so many people, but there are people who've never been able to from jump. And then there are people who, like, you know, that physically that they just, you know, their body couldn't handle, you know, for different reasons, another kid. So for me to just say, all right, well, let me just take myself out the game. Yeah, that would be for personal reasons. I mean, I would totally understand. Oh, I can go ahead and shoot up the club and not have to worry about nobody catching them strays.
I see that, Brittany, but what's the point of getting it? If that's the case, you might as well just leave it open.
And it's not completely foolproof that you get it reversed too.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's too, like, there's too many other methods available to prevent childbirth in order to just get that done. That to me is a last resort deal. And I get it's safer for dudes to do it. I get all of that. And look, for anybody in that situation, whatever situation is going to work best for your family, do that. I'm not saying that women should be the one to get it done. All I'm saying is for us, because of, like I said, health reasons, we can't. We actually talked about, you know, if we could still have kids, would we do it? And we very much would. Charlie wouldn't have been the last one, but because of that, then yeah, I'm grateful for her contribution and the sacrifice of taking care of shutting down the factory for us. But so I'm cool.
So when women get on birth control, it's not guaranteed that you can have kids after either. I think that it's more likelier that a woman would have kids after that.
Yeah, but a lot of women don't get on birth control just for birth control. They get on birth control to regulate periods, to pain management. There's a number of reasons for birth control, and there's health risk on both ends of the spectrum, because like you said, even getting it reversed doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be foolproof. So there's
I would rather to me, I would look at it like this. I know that you got to get the the IEDs.
Yeah,
is that what it is? I'm gonna call it. It ain't the bombs. What is that? What is I always mix it up. What's the when you go? What's it's y'all military boys, man? The
IED.
The bombs out. When I always see people in the army talk about it.
Yeah,
it is IEDs, huh?
It's the military. It's not the army.
Military IEDs. Yeah. Well, you dropping them other kind of bombs this way, though, man. But listen, I just thought that, to me, what makes more sense from a long-term perspective, if you were in a relationship, right? Because, okay, let's just say hypothetically, I'm a knock on wood here, and this will not, and with hopes that something like this would happen. But hypothetically, right? If let's say I went ahead and got the vasectomy, and then let's say that maybe 2 years from now, and I got the vasectomy because for right now, right, it's the best thing for my current relationship.
Right.
But then let's just say that if for some reason, if this current one don't work out in 2 years, and then I go ahead and I slide up with some new chick and she don't have kids and she wanted to have kids, and I would totally understand. Then at that point, that she would be like, listen, that's a deal breaker for me. So I feel like I would be prepared if I entered another relationship to have other kids, and even if that's independent of me having kids currently. So I think that for me, and I would feel the same way if it was a female, right? If we made the decision that it was better for her to get her tubes tied now, and I would understand if she met some dude, if it didn't work out, she gets up with some other dude, he ain't gonna be as fly as me, but she catches up with this clown, and now it's a big deal because, you know what I'm saying, she got her tubes tied because of a commitment or a conversation that existed before he came into the position, though, into the picture, though, man. So,
well, again, it's hypothetical for you, because we all know once if you ever did get a divorce, it's over anyway. You've gone straight back into your whole phase.
I'm for the streets.
Yeah.
At that point, but I think that, but I think that this is the thing. I think that I don't necessarily know that I would go straight to the whole phase, though, man.
You'd be out in them streets, though.
Yeah, I'd have me some little friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that, but listen, but I think that, but on that though, right? I think that for me, I just think that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't lie. You and I have different views on a second marriage, right? Or marriage after a marriage. Because for me, I guess maybe I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm one up in your marriage, but because I've been married longer, right? And I'm pretty sure my wife to some degree also feels like, all right, she didn't put in the time to put in the work. I don't know that I'm willing to get to know someone else on that level, or have to know that level, or not just that, to be accountable for or responsible for somebody else on that level, let alone then having new kids with somebody. Like I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I probably would be more inclined to be more comfortable with having kids with someone else than being married to someone else again.
Well, see, for me, I was young enough at the time when I was first divorced to entertain that. And plus the situation of why that first relationship didn't work out was another reason why I was comfortable enough. And then third of all, Mrs. Kennedy, Sarah, she made it very interesting to make me want to lock it down. So it was all good.
But and that's the thing about it. So your situation is a good scenario of you were young enough the second time around to where you were able to learn, but without holding what you learned against the new one, right? So you're young enough to where the two. See, I think for me, right, but we look at it different though,
We do look at
because
it differently because I mean, I also too, you know, even though it's a different commitment, it still was another relationship. It's almost like
yeah,
when you're dating, you don't just stop dating because you dated somebody and it didn't work. Like, and I get it. It is different to be married, but like I said, the situation in itself wasn't enough to make me look at marriage any differently, or the fact that that's what I really wanted to be, was married. So, and again, our stuff just clicked enough to where it was like, let's do this. Let's make it happen.
it made sense that y'all. So this is the thing about it. Okay, so this is why I say that it made sense that y'all would, because let's say that y'all both were young parents already. So
Right.
when y'all got together, it made sense to me that y'all would have kids together, because then y'all have that binding kid that kind of brings both sides of those families together, and I think that's cool. But me, let's say if this happened this year, 40, if that happened, I'm thinking like, bro, I'm not trying to say like your kids is like 20 years old, like, and it's like I don't know, like, and then I guess I'm not at the same timeline that you are when it comes to something like that. I think that the other part about it for me though, bro, is the reason why I would say that I was more inclined, because it's like this is the thing about it. For me, I think part of the reason why I look at that is that, love my wife to death, what I'm saying? God knows that. But I think that my whole entire life, for me, it was always like an important thing to be a dad. Like that was one of the most important things in my world was to be a dad. And that was number one. And that was all my life, and it took me meeting my wife to feel differently, right? But all prior to that, that's all I knew. And so seeing that it took me meeting her to want to be somebody's husband, basically, though, man, I think that that's why for me, prior to that, being a dad kind of trumped that. And it's like, yeah, you would ideally think that you would be a dad and a husband. But I guess if I didn't score this super hot chick over here as my wife, I guess I would have been cool with just being a dad, because I knew that I wanted to have kids with her, right?
Yeah.
And so even if that meant that we weren't necessarily husband and wife, I still wanted her to be the mother of my kids. And so with that said, I can kind of see that, what I'm saying, that if something happened and this didn't exist, then yeah, I can see that you could want to have kids. If you want another baby, that you can have, you could want to have another baby with somebody. Like I would have a baby with Ashanti, bro.
I mean, I get that, and I just think that whenever you move it, I seen how you slid that in there. I think that when you
Who else don't got no kids, bro?
I don't know.
Takara Jones don't got kids, bro. Like I can see myself having kids with Takara
Kids ain't
Jones.
a deal breaker for me though.
It's not, but what I'm saying though is that it's to me, I guess what I'm saying, but there are some there are females out there that exist that are older that don't have any kids, and maybe kids is a possibility still. So it's like, for me, I would say that yeah, that would be a.
I just think at the end of the day, when you get into a new relationship, those conversations would come up, things that you probably wouldn't think you would do, and then it's like, this is happening. So
this is the one thing, and we got some and other marriage news that we're talking about, but I think that the one thing that I don't necessarily know that I would be quite ready for, right, is like I think that for me, and this is the one thing I can totally say that I respect the most about your relationship, is that I don't know that I would be able to love somebody else's kid the way that I love my own, right? And so, and that comes with that when you marry them, right? You married, if they got kids and everything like that, that comes with the deal, right? And I think that, it's like my son's personality has molded. I've watched him grow. And then to get with somebody new who already got kids, and I had no influence on how that kid was raised at that point, their temperament, their personality, and all this stuff. So now I got to deal with something that somebody else created. Like, I don't know that I can, and that's the thing about it. I think that even still, I think that at my age, a child to me has to be open and willing to love you back. And so while I think I try to be a good person. I think I signed up to be a dad to be A1. I don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, doctor, Doc, I'd be ready to RKO some kid if they living in my house and they say, you ain't my daddy, bro. You better square up if you're gonna say that. I don't care what age you are, bro. I don't know, man, but I do commend you as a dad to be able to not just necessarily love Mrs. Kennedy, but the kids that she had prior to you, though. That to me is something that I would normally take my hats off to if my head was freshly shaved. But I'm not because it ain't now. I'm still on that day 2 phase right now, bro.
So we talked about May the 4th be with you, and we're gonna get into that next marriage conversation. So in honor of May the 4th be with you, earlier you and I took a Star Wars quiz, which it is what it is on that. But during our transitions for each one of our topics, I'm going to play something from Star Wars as we transition into the new thing, and you tell me who it is or where it's from. First one's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's Darth.
That's Vader.
And look, I used to call him Dark Vader.
I did too. Dark Vader.
When I was a kid, he was Dark Vader, and it made sense with the black.
Well, just like Grand Moff Tarkin, I used to call him Grand Moff Tarkin, like Moth.
I still probably call him that. I don't. I never pronounce his whole name. I just say the old dude. Yeah, he's the old dude with the wrinkly face.
Yeah, he got that big old forehead too.
Oh yeah, he got a tall forehead. It's tall and wide too, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
man.
Go ahead and tell us about this other marriage conversation.
Another one bites the dust, man. Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, then called it quits after 29 years of marriage. Ace Kennedy. Did quarantine and COVID take another one? Listen, bro. If you decide to get divorced after 29 years and having made $140 billion, right? And they're not made, but that's your net worth. How long ago do you think it was really over?
15 years.
15 years ago. I was thinking about the same thing, bro, because I think that 15 years ago, because listen, what they said is that they didn't have a prenup, but they already have had an agreement in place that they want a judge to be executed, right? So they did have an exit strategy and plan and everything like that. And I kind of figured that, okay, well, if that was 15 years ago, if that's 15 years that I agree with you, I think that means that they would have been married by the time 14 years, right? 14 years ago, it was a wrap. And I don't think that this was an agreement that he may have immediately had in place. It may have been a post-nup or something like that, though, man. But dog, how do you divvy that bread up? If what's my Amazon dude? Bezos. Jeff Bezos' wife got like $30 billion in their divorce, and she was immediately the third richest woman in the world. So what does Melinda Gates get?
What is his net worth?
He $141 billion.
Then she gets 41.
41. She got to at least go up on old girl, right?
Yeah. See the 35 to 41.
How much of a difference is your standard of living if he only gave you $10 billion?
Yeah, I just don't think that's necessarily gonna fly though. Like I get that, but it would change because you live within your means. So I think that I get what you're saying. That's a lot of money to regular folk like us. Yeah. But I'm saying when you're talking about that type, it's got to be 35 to 41. You're not getting half. You're not getting half. But
what kind of expense? This is now that I'm thinking about this because I never thought about this. Right. Mm-hmm. So you and I, we worry about electricity bill, car notes, student aids for kids, financial aid, loans for yourself, and you think that we may in a year accumulate. Let's say we may be paying out. Let's say hypothetically, if you was making $60,000 a year, you got to be paying out what 80. Let's just say you pocketed 10% of that. Let's say 20% of that you can either save or you go to, but you're basically of the vast majority of your salary, it's going out to pay for your lifestyle, right? So what I'm wondering is that what does Bill Gates's bills look like? How do you think Bill Gates has $1 billion a year in expenses, bro?
I don't know, because I don't know, like when you're looking at the people that he pays that work for him, like I don't know how that's tied into it or anything like that. But I'm just thinking he's gonna come off something when it comes to her. Like I said, you've been together too long. Because if you look at it from the military standpoint, right? If you're with somebody for over 10 years, they are entitled to half your retirement, something to that degree. So when you're looking at him, like I said, while 35 to 41 isn't half, it's still a substantial amount. So that's what I'm thinking it's going to be.
If you're in the military, let's say you make 9 years, you get divorced. If you get remarried, do they count cumulative numbers or is it straight?
Remarried to the same person?
Yeah. Let's say you hit that 10 and you be like, I'm getting close to 10. I got to bail out just to make sure. And then you re-up, you separate.
Because, I mean, are you divorcing after?
Yeah, you divorce and you get remarried.
No. I'm saying, are you then going to divorce after you remarry? So like, how's that work?
So you ain't getting that 10. Is it 10 straight? If you're married to somebody for 10 years, then you get it. But let's say if you hit 9.5 years, you get divorced, and then you go ahead and remarried again. Does the clock start over? Or is it 10 total years?
I think it's 10 years. You have to be with them for 10 years. So
okay, enough for that then. But listen though, I do think that it's crazy though, man. So listen, so my question to you is that, provided that you are a single billionaire at 60 years old, what is the first thing you do as an official bachelor?
I guess officially take his girlfriend to dinner publicly, because I mean, from what David is saying, he was allowed to take annual vacations with his ex.
If it's an ex, if he's been married to her since the 90s something, what does his ex look like? Like I need to see his ex, because you're talking about how far back is this ex? Because
I don't know, but I'm just saying though. I'm saying is publicly he's going to be able to go out and enjoy himself. That's what I'm really saying. All
I know is that if I'm a billionaire, bro, and if that happens, and this may happen even if I'm like a millionaire status, bro. The day that something like that becomes official, bro, I'm pretty sure that there is going to be some photos that come out of me on a nude beach, letting it swing from left to right, bro.
But that's
I'm violating everything, bro. Balls Johnson dance all up and down Sandro Pay, nude beach. Somebody's gonna leak some pictures, bro. It's coming. That's if I came. That's if I was a millionaire.
Yeah,
it's coming.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think whatever, obviously they just decided, tired of living like this. I ain't got I'm on the other side of things. So I wanna enjoy myself before
the rest of your years.
Yeah.
You done gave this man 20-something years, 29. You saying, listen, but you can't get the rest of the 29.
Yeah.
Rough.
That's rough. All right, bro. Next transition.
That's the Sith Lord. Oh my God, Palpatine, Pap.
Right.
Yeah.
So, bro, listen. I've been hearing these recent conversations. As you know, my boy's been still putting up these incredible numbers, right? My boy Russ is putting up these numbers.
Facts.
Scott Brooks comes out and says that he is now the second best point guard ever, second to Magic Johnson. So I've heard people say, how do you overlook Steph? How do you overlook Iverson? How do you overlook Kyrie Irving? So where is Russ to you on the list? Because we know that all these lists are subjective. You can pull out numbers, but even with them pulling out numbers, comparing him to Iverson, their numbers are pretty similar. So what's your criteria that separates them to say, nah, this person is over this person? So where's Russ on your list of PGs?
I don't have him as the second best point guard of all time. And I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000. It's for the same reason why I don't necessarily have CP3 as the second best point guard of all time. And part of that is because he doesn't have the ring, bro. So I can't in good faith and with respect to the history of the game, I couldn't say that he's over Magic Johnson. And the only reason why I say that is because while Magic played on super teams in LA, they didn't win until Magic showed up, right? So I think that he was the catalyst for his. I think that I personally, right? Personally, I think I got him over Allen Iverson, bro, on an all-time list.
Now, let me ask you this, though. In current PGs, where does he rank? People that are currently playing. The Dame Lillard, the Chris Pauls.
It's tough. It's tough. Okay, it's tough. What makes it tough? He's top 5 currently, easily. But I think that what makes it tough, right, is that I don't really look at Steph Curry like he's a point guard, and I don't look at Dame Lillard like he's a point guard. I look at them like shooting guards. They're scoring guards, right? So I don't really look at them. And so when I look at that, I think that Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook are the truest or closest to like pure point guards to what I would look at as a pure point guard, not a scoring point guard, right? Russ can score. He give you the buckets. He looks to get the assists to facilitate and get everything else going. And I think that the other guys, their contributions to their team is primarily through their scoring. And so for that reason, it's hard for me to look at Steph and rate him as almost like an all-time point guard. But because he lines up as a point guard and he has the rings and Russ doesn't, then I'm inclined to put Steph over Russ in the all-time list. So because I have him as a higher all-time point guard, then I have to have Steph over him in the current league's point guards, though.
Even Kyrie?
Kyrie still doesn't have enough years to me. Again, for some reason, though, bro, like I know that Kyrie's been around for a long time, but he's also been injured to where I think that his injuries have taken away his contributions to those seasons where he missed a bunch of games. So I don't know, man. Like,
but he got a ring.
But see, he does have a ring. To me, Kyrie just needs to build up the rest of his resume. To me, right? Like to me, Kyrie is like a top 50 player of all time. Yeah, I think he's a top 50 player of all time.
So what about Chris and Russ? And then I'll leave it alone.
I think that Chris Paul, despite that, I think, damn. See, I'm more, okay. I'm more, this is going to sound like a complete, not hypocrite, but an oxymoron, right? Because I'm more impressed by Chris Paul's resume, but I'm more impressed by Russ's accomplishments. Right? Does that make sense? Like Chris, it means something to me that Chris Paul, while he's been on a few teams, that those teams automatically turned around every single time he was on there. And before they got there, they was tracked. That means something to me. But at the same time, I'm very impressed by the triple doubles. I'm very impressed that Russ had 24 assists. I'm very impressed that Russ can have 21 rebounds. And so for that, when Scott Brooks says he got him higher than a lot of them, well, hell, Russell, listen, Magic Johnson is 6'9", and I don't think Magic Johnson had more than 3 or 4 games in his career where he scored 40 points. And I don't know that Magic ever had 20 rebounds. And so for that matter, you can say, well, while Magic was a better distributor of the ball and maybe a better playmaker, I mean, Russ is a better rebounder and a better scorer than Magic Johnson is. So it's like Russ does a lot of dope things. I definitely think that what kills it for a lot of people when it comes to Russ and the all-time discussion is the no rings. And, right. If he got a ring without KD and he's a starting point guard and he is a contributor, then to me, that's higher than KD's rings to me.
100%. Here's the other thing too about Russ is those things that he's doing is translating to wins, because you look at where Washington was last year and where they are right now. Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, that's not Bradley Beal's team no more, bro.
It feels like that.
It does. I'm not. This is no disrespect to Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal falls out, but I haven't heard his name mentioned when you're talking about the Wizards.
Well, let me stop you right there, though. Right? Okay, so what does that say then? That Russ is going to lead the league in assists, and Bradley Beal is going to lead the league in scoring. He's like incremental points behind Steph, right? Steph probably will get him because Steph's going to have more opportunities. But what does that mean, though? What does that say about the team or about them individually if Russ is going to lead them and lead the league in assists? So you got the league's leader in assists and the league leader in points. And I don't think that all of his assists just come from from Bradley Beal. So what does that say to you then about their team?
And it says that Russ was a missing piece. What I'm saying is, when they first got together, Russ was still going through his injury stuff, and Bradley, they were trying to figure it out. But I'm saying once Russ got going, they went like 8 straight games winning and this, that, and the other. So it's so much that has changed because of the play of Russell Westbrook. I mean, you hear Bradley Beal even saying like, Russ gets everybody involved. He's like super committed to his teammates. Like, if you watch the highlights of their game, Russ is getting everybody involved, bro.
I listen, man. I love watching Russell Westbrook play, and I'll tell you this, man. I never feel cheated when I watch him play. I don't see him, have those rest games that you see from Kawhi and even LeBron, Joel Embiid, and not just that though, man. I mean, what I love is that every single possession matters to him, though, man. Like, it's no plays off to him. So I don't know, man, but to say he's second all-time point guard or second best point guard, and maybe this is the thing about it. It's like if he's saying best versus greatest, because to me, best and greats are two different things, right? Because it's almost like Floyd Mayweather to me is the best boxer of all time, right? But Muhammad Ali is the greatest because to me the greatness kind of transcends the boxing. I just wonder if Russ. I mean, golly, man, think about this though, bro. The narrative of Russ would be so different if with one ring, the narrative. You know what I think? Here's what I think, bro. I think that if Russell Westbrook had one ring, he would be looked at like Drew Brees, bro. He would be looked at like the Drew Brees of the NBA, where Drew Brees has the one ring. He did it in historic fashion where he beat all top-notch players. He brought the city back. So let's say, especially if Russell did it for Oklahoma City, right? Russ without KD. If Russ won the ring without KD, in Oklahoma City for whatever the roster looked like, I might just say Russ is second all time then at that point. But I think that but without that, the comparison I have is statistically speaking, Drew Brees put up a lot of numbers, a lot of passes, a lot of touchdowns. And Russell Westbrook has put up a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, a lot of assists. And if he just had the one ring, then that, to me, his resume would be comparable to Drew Brees for football.
Okay, last question about Russ. We could completely move on. If Russ and them make it to the playoffs, does that at least put him at number 2 on the MVP list? You think about where their season was at the beginning of the year, because I still think Steph Curry. I still think,
it depends on who you think is number 1.
I think Steph is, because my thing is Embiid's been injured. All the other top guys been injured. And I'm sorry. It's just, I know Joker has been consistent all year and doing whatever. I get it.
It's gonna put Russ at 3 then, because Joker's gonna get it. Joker is gonna get it. And let me tell you the reason why. The reason why Joker's going to get it is because Steph had a period in March where his shot was not dropping like this. And then for the most part, Steph and them has been floating around that 10 spot, 9 spot, and they just got to the 8 spot yesterday. And so Russ and them have been very much the same. They've been kind of falling in that little same groove of the 10, and they got to play in the play-in just to get there. Whereas Joker has been playing more consistent than anybody in the league, and his team is one of the top seeds. So I think that just off of that merit, then I think it's a guarantee that Joker is going to win it. So to me, it just becomes a matter of, are you more impressed with the scoring that Steph did or the all-around play that Russell Westbrook? I think to that point, he could be number 2. He's definitely an MVP candidate to me, though.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing though. If they make number 8 and the Nets end up at number 1, if y'all think Russ been playing hard now, bro, I don't know what to take you that theory, bro.
Listen, bro, it's a championship. But this is the thing about it. I just hope that if he did that, bro, that Russ doesn't take it so personal where he do the things that we've traditionally seen him do in the playoffs, bro.
Understood that. Yeah. All right, bro. Next transition. Here we go.
Yeah. That's the young Anakin.
That's right.
Burned up in that lava.
That's right. And Mustafa.
Hey, you know what? Let me tell you, this is a whole separate topic. Dog, this boy, Michael Vick, who's over 40. I think Michael Vick's like 41. Is he 41? Is Michael Vick older than us?
He might be.
Okay, so Michael Vick recently ran the 40-yard dash in a 4.77 and said that he was disappointed in his time, though, bro. How fast are you running a 40 right now, bro?
Oh, right now it's not. Nah. I told you I'm about to start training so I can play soccer again. So I'm not ready yet. So when I get my shape ready for soccer, then let's do it.
You gonna clock it? Well, listen, I'm coming out there in a couple of weeks. I'm clocking your 40 time.
Nah, you ain't, because I'm not gonna be trained by then. I've told you, I'm training to get back. I'm playing by age because I'm gonna be 41 at the end of this year. So I plan to start playing soccer the summer of next year. I'm trying to do that.
Next year? What's wrong with what's about not the summer of this year?
Not gonna happen. No. I'm trying to make a full comeback for soccer. I'm not gonna be ready by the summer. The summer's in like 3 months, bro. Not doing that.
The summer's like next month.
Okay, even more so. Did you
start right now?
Not gonna happen. I'm telling you my timeline. I'm not. This is not a discussion. I'm telling you my timeline.
Boy, I don't know. But listen, I was tripped out when he said he was disappointed in his time. And I think that Michael Vick, while he's not playing in the NFL, I think he's still in pretty good shape. I think he works out still and everything like that, though, man. But listen, at 40-something years old, to be disappointed, like I'm pretty sure Randy Moss probably can get out there, run still about a 4.40. You know, there's some old folks, some old heads that have just traditionally been pretty fast. Like I bet Daryl Green, he's like 60 years old. I bet he's still fast. I bet Herschel Walker's still fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's certain people who I think still got it. Yeah, man. LeBron's been back. And then he came back for a couple games.
Yeah, and
then sat out a couple games. So, man, listen. How are you feeling about the Lakers and specifically LeBron James saying, you know what? I think that this play-in crap is weak. You know, whatever. Whoever should be fired. Whoever came up with the idea.
I mean, here's my thing. This is LeBron's lane. So, with that being said, I have to respect with this being his lane. I have to just fall back on my opinion because you hear people saying, "Oh, he's only saying that because they aren't." You know what I'm saying? They have to play in. You know what I'm saying? Like, would he really be saying anything if the Lakers were a shoe-in for stuff like that? So I'm going to say that I'm going to respect the fact that he's been in the league, 18 years. And if he is saying it shouldn't be changed at this point, I'm just going to let LeBron, that's his lane. That ain't my lane. That's the way I feel about it.
I think that it is interesting because I haven't heard any team or any player whose team is a guarantee to make the playoffs talk about the play-in. So for me, I think that LeBron feels that way because they are in jeopardy of having to play in the play-in though. So for that reason though, bro. And then here's the other thing. Just like we saw at the bubble, all it takes is for the right team to get hot. We saw the Suns get hot. We saw Murray them. We saw Donovan Mitchell them light it up, 50-some points. And I'm gonna be honest. Here's what I think, to be quite honest with you. Okay. AD, let me ask you something. We feel differently about AD, especially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen like Donovan Mitchell was dropping 40 a night when they played against the Nuggets, right? Him and Murray. Can AD in the playoffs give you 40 a night? Like in a playoff game, in a play-in game, do you trust AD to drop 40? If they say, you know what, tonight we have to have 40 points from AD or we are not going to lose. Or we are going to lose. How confident are you that AD will come through on a day you got to get 40 from him that he will?
Nah, you're not getting 40.
Oddly enough, man, as much as I like AD, I feel the same way though, bro.
Yeah, and and here's the thing. I know AD is dope. I'm not even going to say that he's not dope, but you have to he's not gonna give you, he ain't gonna give you 40.
See, I think that there may be a point, like even like you know, like it just reminds me, right, of the levels and how big the gap is. Because you know, like when LeBron played against the Warriors that year, that they won the ring, LeBron was averaging a triple-double, but his triple-double was like 38 points a game. Like he did everything that you needed to do. They needed every single point, every single rebound, every single assist that LeBron did. And I just don't, and he did that going into that series, knowing that with this opponent, I'm gonna have to do that. I just don't know that AD can average 35 a game in a series. Like that's always my concern. And so because I always have that concern for him, I always think that there is a potential for the Lakers to lose. And so for that reason, I think that when it comes to the play-in game, that I can see them losing. And in the loss, I can see AD losing and scoring like 20 points, 22 points. And that's just it though, bro. So I don't know. Man.
He's just too inconsistent. And my thing is, I'm not saying that AD isn't a good player, but he just doesn't play like it every single game. Like he doesn't give the effort like Giannis would, which would leave him out of the MVP conversation. Because even as well as he played last year, he still wasn't an MVP candidate to me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting though, man. So Bron's back, and I think that it kind of changes. Let's switch topics. Give me another Star Wars here.
All right, here we go.
You stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
That's Leia talking to Han Solo.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's just easy during our stuff.
Yeah. Listen, for the people who are listening here, we had I was participating in a charity Star Wars quiz, where based off of your answers and right answers to the Star Wars quiz, our company was given like donating $10 per correct answer to a particular charity. So the actual trivia was 40 questions basically to open it on up. And so I had Ace over here in my corner in my ear as my cheat partner on over here. And we have 400 people. And at least I didn't get last place because I showed up with I got at the end of the day, I got 260 out of everybody though, man. So I'll take it.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. We won 400. And there was some pretty hard questions too.
Hey, man. New music, right? So I saw DJ Khaled. And so, DJ Khaled's new album, Khaled, is almost a professional mixtape. I think you can't say it's a professional mixtape. It's a mixtape album, basically, though, man. Yeah. And so the who's who, what I'm saying, of everybody on there. But one of the things that let me ask you this though. Talk to me. What are some things that stood out to you? Have you listened to it yet?
I listened to some of it, but I haven't listened to all of it. But I mean, the things that obviously stand out is the fact that we get a Cardi record, which is interesting to me because I didn't see a Nicki record. The other thing, of course, we have a Jay-Z and Nas collabo.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And then I saw a lot of the Baby on the record.
Okay. The Baby's everywhere.
He is. And so, and I get it. I mean, I'm sure like if you Khaled and you got him, let's say if they're actually in studio and it's just like, well, I got him here. So let me see if I can, you know what I'm saying, get him for as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a good look.
Let me tell you what I do wonder. Okay, so about Cardi B, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it something? I mean, listen, are we seeing a change of the guards?
Man, I think people have been saying this for about 3 years now. I mean, Cardi hasn't stopped. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't had another Bodak Yellow, but she hasn't been a one-hit wonder either. Like she's had records that still charted well. WAP was about as close as Bodak Yellow as I've seen.
WAP to me made it official that she could not be categorized as a one-hit wonder.
100. But I mean, there was other records though. Like there's still other records though that still did very well that I still wouldn't have classified her as a one-hit wonder.
Well, listen, Hammer, all of Hammer's stuff went diamond, and then he puts out the album with the Funky Headhunters. It sells 4 million, and it wasn't like the other stuff. And they basically said he was a flop. And so I think that when you look at Cardi and you see that, I say the parallel there, if Bodak is the standard, because Bodak was out of there, right?
Right.
And I think if Bodak is a standard for which you judge all of her subsequent songs too, then I think that, yeah, the other songs weren't Bodak's.
They weren't.
WAP was,
but
WAP was like here.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But this is what I'm saying, right? You look at somebody like, what's my boy All Gold Everything? Trinidad. What other songs did close?
Not nothing to that. And let me tell you why I think that happened with him, right? So that happened with Trinidad because Trinidad James had signed to Def Jam off the strength of that one song, right? And I think though, man, that the industry, this is going to sound bad, but it sounds to me like the industry hated on Trinidad James to where people thought that Trinidad was really making a mockery of hip hop. And I think there's so many people voiced their displeasure with Trinidad James as an artist that I think that the label caved in on even putting out his album. So his album was done, completely shelved, right? And it never saw the daylight. And it was because they just thought All Gold, whatever was just too much of a one-hit wonder feel to it, though, bro.
Okay, so that wasn't my only example. The other example is Designer.
See, this Panda was one of them. The beat, and so I say this every time. So he had that song, Timmy Turner.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so this is the thing that I think that I thought was right. Timmy Turner didn't sound like how the freestyle sounded. When I heard the acapella version of it, right, it sounded way better because he was like, Timmy Turner. He be looking for a burner to kill everybody walking. You know that she's looking to find it, but it's no BT. Then she grounded. And I was like, yo, okay. But then when I heard how the song was done, it was made with like this offbeat style, on-beat style, where I was just like, yo. And it was produced by Mike Dean, who does all of he's the specialist when it comes to mixing your stuff with auto-tune and everything like that. I just thought that overall, though, man, the beat was whack to a dope song. But I thought that song would have been a good follow-up record, though.
It would have been. All I'm saying, all that to say, though, right? Those were just two examples of people who had those big records. At least with Designer, he had something that still, like, people were interested in hearing what he had after Panda. But I'm saying with Cardi, though, she had songs that, like, I was in the car just yesterday, and the joint came on with the I Like It Like That came on, right? And I just
I like it like that, man.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's like that's another, but that record didn't do Bodak Yellow good.
And this was funny. I Like It Like That was in commercials and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
so, that's
what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. She still had records that did well that didn't reach the Bodak Yellow level. Like you said, WAP is the one. If Bodak Yellow was a 10, WAP was at least a 9.5 or a 9. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? So you know what was one that didn't have a comeback to big song? Return of the Mac. Oh, baby, I want turn of the Mac. I want to get. Return of the Mac. He said, when I buy the beat that song, and when I did you wrong. He never had a song that came after that, though, bro.
Because that song was so whack, bro.
Oh my gosh. But I listen, man, I do think that, listen, like I would be very proud, bro, if Nicki was just saying, you know, y'all out here playing, and I'm sitting here on like 5 bangers that's gonna knock everybody out their head, bro. And if I would love nothing more than for Nicki to be sitting on something that's
I would
just,
too, but I'm just saying, bro. I get it. You get the pass because you had a kid, but I still think Nicki is on the clock, bro. Like, we just need to hear something because she hadn't had a big record in a while.
and that's the bad part about it. It's one thing that she's been off the radar, but she just hasn't had a big record like that. Let me tell you, this is the other thing that I think that's crazy. So the one thing that I don't think that I saw, and I didn't go through the full list. What what I didn't see from Khaled's stuff is that he has the who's who of pop and rap and R&B on his stuff, though, man. What I was kind of disappointed is that I didn't see he didn't have like an up and coming or someone who isn't as known that says, oh, you know what? I believe this dude is the next dude, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this tape to showcase that. It was just, to me, showcasing the people who we already know and collab and putting them on with collabs. I would have loved to have seen it almost be like how DJ Clue had slid in Fabulous on there, and Fabulous was one of those dudes that come on out. So I like when I see that kind of thing. So like I didn't see, the dude who got the everybody does this. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody does this channel, the Junebug channel. I didn't see him. I would want to see him on it. Like put one of them on, like put someone who's a up and comer on there. And so like it's cool that.
Still think though, and I don't talk to Khaled. I don't know. I think I'm shooting him some bail by saying I think he went to some people that he knew he could get something from, because we're still not all the way out of quarantine, bro. We're still in a pandemic, and I think he just didn't have the time to recruit or scout. I don't know. I feel like he probably went to some people that these are people I think that's going, because Khaled's last record didn't do what Khaled's records typically do. So this was him trying to, put the all-star team together to get him one.
He lied to me. All the things I said I do for you. He lied to me. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yo, that you can't listen. You can't say that song is just trash, though, bro.
Yeah, I can.
Because there's so many people who sample that song.
Doesn't matter. The beat is whack.
The beat's whack?
Yes, 100%. The beat is whack. The bass line is whack. The groove.
No, sir.
Listen, the groove is whack. The person singing it is whack. The way he's singing it is whack. The song itself is whack. Everything about that song is whack.
Oh my God. But I tried to lie to me.
Take that song and This Is How We Do It and never play them.
No, sir. We're
never
not
play
gonna
them
get
again.
on that. We're not gonna get on This Is How We Do It, because listen, dog, listen. I'm willing to go ahead and say This Is How We Do It is a top. It got to be a top 50 song from the 90s R&B.
Nope.
Man, listen.
No.
But listen, but on the Khaled though, I did listen to every time I see some new Jay-Z, I thought that it was fire. I listened to it and it was it. So this is the thing, that I don't know if it's a good or bad thing that, because Jay-Z doesn't put out projects as much, and he's pretty much still the primary person who I like to listen to. So I'm always kind of like, it leaves me wanting to get more Jay-Z though, man. So I was pleasantly happy and surprised about the collab with Nas, but I think that more than anything though, man, it's just it just kind of reconfirmed my joy that my ear has for listening to Jay-Z music, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that the record's on there. I haven't heard it for myself yet, but I did hear Nas say he had to go back and change some lines after listening to Jay's verse. So
Jay-Z was talking like Jay-Z was, listen, bro, and it's the thing that I think that's crazy to me. So like there are just a couple of people who I think personally who talk that big Willie talk, that slick talk, and it's next level. And I'm gonna go ahead and say I think that Drake talks that big boy talk very well. Jay-Z does, Nas does. Like when I listen to like Billionaire Boys Club off of Magna Carta, fire from Nas. And that's the Nas I like. The Hate Me Now Nas, that's the Nas that I like. Rick Ross talk that money stuff real big. Young Jeezy talking, and there are people who do it, but those are like the maybe 7 people who I think that talk that slick talk, that money talk the best. And so of those people though, Jay-Z is probably top for what I like. I feel like I feel what he's saying more though.
Oh, I did hear that Meg record, and Meg Snaps, which again just really like beckons the call for Nicki, bro, because You know,
this is making me disappointed and making me more disappointed in Nikki though, bro, because like I told you, I hold Nikki into very high regard, the highest. I call this. She's the GOAT MC to me though, bro. And so female MC at that. So I'm just thinking like, listen, man, you mean to tell me if you give up your throne, you giving up the crown like this? Like you just practically not even fighting back? Like, or it'd be one thing if you just said, you know what, I'm retiring. Y'all can have this. You know what I'm saying? But to say that they're out-songing you, what? I don't like that, man.
Oh no. Well, man, what you got going on for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week, man, I am I got 2 trips that I'm trying to get ready for, man. So of course I'm trying to make sure I got some things in order before I slide on out there to OKC. I'm trying to make sure that, we're going out to Mexico for Neek's 40th birthday. And so I'm trying to make sure I got my stuff lined up for there. And then aside from that, though, man, I think I might be it's Mother's Day weekend, right? So we got that going on. And then SWV versus Escape is on Saturday. So that should be pretty dope too. So some things to look forward to. I think that we getting rain out here in Atlanta. And so it's supposed to be clearing up here by this weekend. So yeah, it should be another good weekend out here though, man.
Yeah. Well, the Prince he has a tournament down in Fort Worth this weekend, and he has the prom this weekend. So and then Tari graduates he gets his associates this weekend. So a lot of stuff going on. But I did want to shout out the Tanashi not Tanashi Tashay. We had a kind of a deal that kind of sparked off, and I wanted to share the news with everybody. If you guys will look over in that right hand section over there for male artist of the year, it's that Ace Kennedy featuring Venus. So shout out to Tashay and her entire staff for the nomination, and definitely looking forward to the event coming up in June. Definitely plan to be in attendance for that. So I just think it's dope that we got the nod. It's always dope to be recognized. So yeah, that's a big deal for us.
Fire.
Yeah.
Very fire.
On My Mind is still charting very, very, very well. So super excited about that. We'll definitely go into more promotion for that. I know it's going to be hitting Atlanta in June for some DJ event out there. So that's dope. Just really pushing the song. People are loving it. I had a show this past weekend. It was a rooftop show, the R&B show, which is where I podcasted from on Friday. It went well. The video is out for people that didn't get a chance to make it, and had a lot of people talking to me about On My Mind, like really like some artists that was like, yo, definitely got to link up now.
Yeah.
Which I thought was dope. And specifically it was that song that was like, yo, we gotta work. So I thought that was.
Let me tell you what's dope. I looked at the video. What I loved about the video is when you said when she stepped in the club, she was looking fly to death. Me, I'm on the floor with my same 2-step, and I saw homeboy in the corner over there the whole time.
Yeah.
And listen, before you said it, he was already getting it on over there, though, bro. So
I gotta shout him out, bro. That is vocal gold, and that dude put on a show. I got the footage from his stuff. I haven't chopped it up yet, bro. When I tell you that dude put on a show, bro, he had the crowd rocking. He had the crowd singing his hooks. He did something different from now. We ain't gonna get into the details about everything on the show, but the point was, I was the first act to go. And we due to some technical difficulties, we did not have the opportunity to do a sound check. So from the artist standpoint of performing, I have no problem with wherever I go on the card, because in my opinion, I'm going to do my show regardless. But when you haven't had a sound check and you're going first, you're the guinea pig, because they're going to be trying to work out the sound while you're performing. And that was the case. But when vocal came on, you know what I'm saying, they had everything kind of worked out.
Yeah.
And he had the crowd into it. So and it's funny because I did Situationship. So he had a bunch of people there. And when Situationship came on, they was like, yo, this is it, because he had a line in his song about situationship. So when he knew that line was coming up, he was looking for me in the crowd. And when he said situationship, he looked at me and pointed at me. It was like, nah. And we talked about it after he got off stage.
That's fire.
And was just like, bro, when he said when that song came on, my people was like hitting me like, bro, that you got a line in your song, because they knew that was coming up. So it was dope. I mean, overall, the show was dope. Shout out to my cousin Dominique for putting it on. It was on a rooftop. That we had the cityscape in the background. The whole thing was dope. And yeah, it was a great time, and it was just cool to be around other R&B artists, and especially, you know, with the pandemic and stuff going like that, to be able to perform again was super dope, especially with new material, because yeah, I did some stuff from Slipping Away, but I did pull out the new stuff. I did Situationship and On My Mind. And so it was dope to be able to bring those out, but definitely still got the reception. You know, Local Girl always gets people.
I thought that was going to be the thing. I love that you did Local Girl. And I like that when you say, I could have sworn I see that girl before. I think I saw it out in Bricktown. I think it is fire that you can point out that Bricktown. That's fire though, bro.
Yeah. So the whole thing was dope, man. Like I said, the performance was cool. I definitely wish that I could have had my entire sound, because I had my effects rack, especially because I wasn't at 100% vocally that day. That's when I was coming off of my throat stuff. So I wish I would have had all of my vocal arrangements the way that I wanted it to. But regardless, no excuses. The show was out there. I put it out there anyway. So enjoy that. And then it was fun. It was fun. Can't wait to do it again. I got another show, I think, coming up, at the end of May, and then I got another one in June. So yeah, just keeping it pushing, man.
Hey man, listen, before we get out of here, shout out to the homeboy Mark Nurse, had that surgery on that back. Good to see that you are doing all right there from there. I hope you guys recover well.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to the homeboy Chris Top, the bad guy. Put them boobs away up there in Hawaii, though, man. But good to see that boy out there doing this thing, though, man.
Yeah, Mark, tell your wife to stay off your back, and you wouldn't be hurt, bro.
On that note, Ace Kennedy, man, let's get that music. We gone, bro.
The greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast. The greatest podcast.
If you smell. Yep.